Okay guys, welcome back. You are watching the STPL. If this is the VOD you're watching, this is the fourth game in the series. You'll see the results soon, but Scan did just win the series for SouL 3-0 against ReV. But it's not over yet. Rev still have a chance to get some pride back in the series. Of course, every single game does count towards the overall score in the group and the playoffs, so very important to fight as hard as you can in every single game. And we are going to have two good players coming up for you now, the third and final of SouL's Terrans. I must admit, that's one reason why I like casting SouL, because they have a lot of Terran players, and I've got more I can talk about. It's kind of hard when you see like a ZVZ. I'm getting better. My ZVZ knowledge is getting better. PvP knowledge getting a little bit better as well. But of course I do know the most about the Terran matchups, because I have been playing Terran for 9 years. You know what, it's just the way it works. We're going to be moving on to the fourth and final map of today. Just actually making sure I put all of the overlay and get it all sorted, just so it's all nice and good looking, so we can go straight into the game after this. Let's actually move on over to the overlay. Let's introduce the players, let's introduce the map, and we can get going. So let's actually head on over to the overlay now. And as you can see, we're going to have Ultra fighting for SouL Gaming, gonna fight for the 4-0 victory here over Clan Revolution. And Clan Revolution, of course, not a walkover team. They are very, very good themselves. SouL, of course, very strong. And fighting for Clan Revolution, it's gonna be the one, the only Taicho-chan, the man himself. It is incomplete. He is the leader of Clan Revolution. He is a player himself, and he is a Protoss. So we are going to have a TVP here. It's going to be a lot of fun, and I am very much looking forward to this game. And as you can see, Ultra winning one, losing one, 50% win ratio. Incomplete has won his only game so far. Can he carry on that unbeaten streak, or are we going to see a few differences here? Now let's head on to have a look at what map we're going to see. It's going to be Polaris Rhapsody. There's probably a lot of people here that have not seen this map before. I believe it came out in 2009. Very end of it, it was used for an MSL, then used in the Shinhan Bank Pro League, which is where I got the Shinhan Tank Pro League name from, if you didn't realize. Really cool map. 10 o'clock and 5 o'clock positions are spawns. In 2 o'clock and 7 o'clock you have a double gas base you can take. 3 and 9 are the other gas bases. Very easy to defend with a very small wall for Protoss and Terran, really. You have sort of two mineral onlys in the middle, and you have the mineral onlys at 12 and 6 as well as the natural third bases. So very interesting, very dynamic map. The two little bridges in the middle make it a little bit harder to move through there. So you have some interesting unit movements here as well. We are going to get into the game, and I will move over to the game screen, and let's get started with our fourth and final game of today. Now, it's been a quick cast for me, as there was a few walkovers in the previous series, but we've had some good games so far. Hopefully we'll continue. Oh, this is the wrong screen. Hopefully we'll continue to have good games as well in the future, of course. This is going to be the final game of week 4 of the STPL. But it's not over yet. There's another 3 weeks at least, and starting us off in this final game of week 4, in the top left position, we do have Incomplete ReV. He is the clan leader. He does a lot of organizing for them. He is a genuinely cool guy. You should read his interview on Team Liquid. I did do an interview with him. I think it's on like page 3 or something, but you can see a link to it, I believe, in the OP. If not, I'll need to go through and add those. But his opponent gonna be fighting for SouL, gonna fight for that 4-0. It's gonna be Ultra, the Yellow Terran. And I mean, Incomplete gonna be fighting hard here for a little bit of pride on his team. I know he was in the chat before, so hopefully he does appear, and hopefully he doesn't feel bad about this game or anything. Hopefully he doesn't spoil anything as well. The worst thing ever was in week 2. I believe it was Tupac appeared in his game versus Rota. I think it may have been week 3, and they basically spoilt it, and it was like, oh man, that kind of ruins it. But of course, ReV cannot take it to the ace match here. This is going to be for nothing but their own pride. And Incomplete is going to have to put a good amount of work in here. Now, Ultra, in comparison to Koget here, is going to wall in at his ramp. You can go for a barracks here, go for another depot here. That does make a Zealot type wall. I believe it's even link tight in TVZ. No, it's not. I don't think that's link tight with the barracks. Yes, it is. Of course it is. That's a link tight wall. I believe you can do the same here. You go depot, and barracks. Now, the one thing I did mention in the last time we saw Polaris, but it does lead to an interesting situation where some of your units can actually get stuck trying to move out of your base. Now, both of them sending out their scouts relatively early. I think Ultra sent his on 12. Incomplete did send his after Gateway on about 12 as well. Maybe even 11. I didn't quite catch when the Gateway went up there, but gonna be pretty standard game so far. Ultra has actually decided to go for the extra depot very early, and it looks like Ultra is very surprised they're on turn rate 20. Ultra's internet, I'm not gonna lie, is not the best internet in SouL. I think Scan and even Dandy's internet's not that great, but Ultra, Castro, both of them have a lot of internet problems, and playing on high turn rate is very rare for them, so it's quite nice. And thank you very much for the follow. I didn't actually quite catch your name, but I hope you're enjoying the show so far. This is going to be the final game for this evening, but there will be some more STPL next week, and I'll go through all that at the end of the stream. So don't worry, you'll all learn about the schedule if you don't know about it already. I do hope that you're enjoying the show, though. Looks like we do have Ultra going for the gas. Now, one thing Ultra could do here is actually go for a 2-fact. I'm not sure if he will do. Has he pulled guys off gas? Yes, he has. So we should actually see a command center coming up soon. Using this supply depot to help scout for any shuttles later on. And Ultra doing a very, very good job just moving around, checking for any proxies and any hidden bases as well. There's a lot of proxy locations on this map, but of course, this is the probe he needs to worry about. There's still no Nexus at the second base. Usually you will see that about 4 minutes if they do not go for Nexus first. Looks like Incomplete is actually going to be going for not that. He's going for 2-gate. It's going to be 2-gate Power Goon here, ladies and gentlemen. And that can be very, very strong against a Terran who has walled himself in. Now, he is going for 4 Marines. Kind of interesting. One of the things you usually do if you do wall in is the main purpose of the wall is to just play as greedy as humanly possible. But of course, he may just be going for an FD here. Going to be a little bit harder for him to... that should make it a little bit harder for Incomplete to actually scout that. But with no upgrade coming up here on the machine shop and the command center coming up already, I get the feeling we're likely going to see siege mode coming up soon. But kind of surprised that Ultra has decided to skip out on all of those. He will see the probe going to build that second base. But of course he does see the 2 gateways as well. Sees the range has finished. He will see that with how quickly his SCV is dying and from how far away. So kind of annoying for the Terran player to deal with. But I mean, Ultra, I mean, he's up to 4 Marines. This feels a little bit like it's delayed a lot of his stuff here. But he is going for a second command center. And here's the problem with going for so many Marines but not actually going for an FD. You kind of just end up with 4 Marines. They sit in your ramp. They get picked off by the Dragoons. And it just becomes kind of annoying. Like, there's not really too much he can do with them. It does delay everything by at least 100 minerals. Like, usually if you're going to wall off, maximum amount of Marines you really want to get is 2. Of course, he's doing a bit of an interesting build. He's delayed siege very, very late. He's actually gone into an engineering bay with missile turrets already, despite scouting that there was no robo. Of course, this is going to pay off now because there is a citadel coming up, but he didn't actually see that, so he is playing a little bit overly cautious. Going to make sure he doesn't die to DTs. Of course, very hard to scout for all the proxy locations on the map, but it looks like these Dragoons going to be enough to push back the command center for now. Going to be very hard for Ultra to really get down this ramp with his tanks. They can get picked off really easily, but here we go. Siege mode is done, and with siege mode, he is going to be doing a lot of damage to the Dragoons. ReV, Incomplete even, needs to pull them away, does lose a Dragoon for completely free, and that is not going to be great for him. We do have the Citadel of Adun up and ready. Are we going to see a Templar Archives? Looks like we're going to see an additional 3 gateways first, additional 4 gateways. So this is likely just going to be 4 Zealot speed soon. But Ultra finally securing his second base. Going to be very, very important for him. Now, Ultra is waiting a very, very long time to get his second and third factories here. Usually you want to try and get them around 6 minutes. He has gone for an armory here, but I mean, look at his money. He has enough for another factory. Ultra is spending a lot of time and energy trying to take down these Dragoons. Of course, this is a very strong maneuver to make. As I said before, there is these bridges that mean all of the units clump up on the other side. But kind of an interesting game by Ultra so far. He's playing... The reason why it's so strange is he's playing greedy without being greedy, which is what's really, really confusing me. He's finally going to be adding on his second factory, of course. Against 5-6 gateways now, his army is going to be so small. And it looks like he's going to counter a third base from the Protoss player. He's not even scouted. He doesn't have an academy. That's finally coming up now. And I mean, while this is a strong move, there's no third base here, and he's going to be running into a massive army from the Protoss player. I know there's only 4 Dragoons at the moment, but when the Zealots start moving in, this could be pretty hard for him to deal with. I mean, he's going to take this position here. He's going to add the turrets, but I mean, what does this really achieve? I mean, he's going to try and push into the natural now. Of course, he can siege up this cliff here, and that can be very, very annoying. But building a bunker up the front, he doesn't really have that many Marines. And the Zealots actually being baited into the tanks. This is actually going to be a mistake. The tank fire hitting the tanks is... Oh, sorry. The tank fire hitting the Zealots even. Going to cause him a lot of pain and anguish here. He's got a lot of units chasing down his 5 tanks. One of the tanks does go down. Second one going to go down as well. And this push is going to be completely nullified. Incomplete, doing a very, very good job here holding on. And I mean, he's just going to be able to expand straight away behind this. And poor Ultra not really going to be able to achieve too much here. He's finally going up to 4 bases. This bunker is going to go down. Looks like the single Marine going to try and be a hero.